Do you know what's difficult? What is utterly frustratingly difficult and a pain in the asshole? Trying to make funny jokes about a serious and emotional game. One of my favourite game series of the last decade has to be Life is Strange. It was a game that I kind of decided to buy one day on a random gut feeling I had. For anyone that might not be aware of what a gut feeling is, it's this feeling when you just know that you need to do something, or you know that you need to play something. I'm educating y'all bitches. Don't know why I called you bitches, I'm very sorry. I've made some changes on the channel here, as you can see. No more phone, no more microphone in my hands, so I feel the need to just do everything with my hands. What I did not expect was an experience that I would love and remember for years to come. Since then I have played everything in the Life is Strange franchise, and it's been one hell of a ride. But nothing prepared me for the emotional rollercoaster that I was about to go on. Now, for those of you that are unaware, the Life is Strange games can tackle subjects such as grief, depression, bullying, and Life is Strange 2 adds a lot more to that table of issues. This game deals with racism, society, being an outcast, religion, and much more. There is a much heavier tone in Life is Strange 2 than there was in the previous games. Now, I do quickly want to say that I will not be talking about any spoilers for this game, but I will be showing clips in the background from episodes 1, 2 and 3, and I will be talking about the story for the first episode, like the things that kind of set the story on its path without giving too much away. So if you don't want to see anything about this game, then it might be best to add this to watch later, or come back at a later time after you've played the game. Okay? Okay, let's get into the game. Life is Strange 2 introduces new characters, Sean and Daniel Diaz. You play as Sean, the older brother of the pair, with younger brother Daniel only being a child. One day Sean and Daniel find themselves in a crazy situation. A police officer dead after a mysterious blast wave sends him flying. It looks bad, really bad. So Sean grabs his brother and gets the hell out of there. Now, like I said, I don't want to discuss too much of the plot to avoid spoilers, but the overall story for Life is Strange 2 is a story of a journey across the country. But this is Life is Strange, so of course things are never simple. Eventually Sean learns that Daniel has superpowers, and Daniel's superpowers is what killed the police officer. The two face many trials while they're out on the road, and they meet a lot of new faces, and Sean has to try and raise his little brother all by himself. But how will that work out? Will Sean raise Daniel to be respectful and kind? Will he raise Daniel to hurt others and only care about himself? Will he raise him to think that pineapple belongs on pizza? Please don't lynch me for that line, I just thought it was really funny, okay? You can put whatever you want on pizza, alright? And will it cost him? You decide. I have to say, I got incredibly attached to these two boys as time went on. I felt like they were a part of my own family, and I found myself relating a lot to Sean's predicament because I also have a little brother. Now, as a little bit controversial as this is going to be to some of you out there, I actually prefer Life is Strange 2's story over the first game. Don't get me wrong, I do love the first game and I will be making a video on that at some point, but I just feel like this game did so much more for its story than the first game did. It was much more tense, there was much more of a bigger goal at hand. And I didn't really think that I could actually love the sequel as much as the first one. I thought the sequel was going to be yet another one of those games that ends up being in comparison to its original. Kind of like Telltale's The Walking Dead. The first season was absolutely amazing. The second season was like, it was good, it was okay. The third season was, alright, I'll play it I guess. And I thought that's what was going to happen with this game. But I was completely wrong, and I'm so happy to say that. Now, Life is Strange has always had representation in its games, but the sequel adds more of this and takes it to new heights, which I can really respect and appreciate. The first game dealt with topics such as friendship, family, and grief, but the sequel really takes some of these issues to a whole new level. The sequel gives you a lot to talk and think about, not just regarding the state of the game's fictional version of America, but America and the world itself. And I feel like that's something that the first game didn't really do too much of. Once again, I can't say anything more, otherwise I'll be diving right into spoiler territory. I also want to say that if you haven't checked out the Adventures of Captain Spirit, go and play that before you play Life is Strange 2. Captain Spirit is connected to Life is Strange 2, so if you want to know more about the characters within that game, I suggest giving it a try. Here I am again, recording another video. I don't know how to make it funny. How do I make a funny video about a serious and emotional game? Why am I so stupid? Well, I have to decide how this should go on. Sorry about that. That happens a lot in the Life is Strange games, and I kind of got a little bit carried away. Let's move on to the gameplay, shall we? Life is Strange is a choice and consequence game series, meaning that you get given choices, and you have to deal with the consequences. Pretty self-explanatory, really. Now, to be honest, I always find myself feeling kind of irritated by these kind of games, as they usually railroad you into Path A or Path B, or Path A with 3 different colours. But I personally liked most of Life is Strange 2's decisions. Most of them had me really worrying about the negative repercussions that this could have for these boys. Now, as for the actual gameplay itself, the game pretty much handles the exact same way as Life is Strange 1 and Before the Storm handled. The random little added function of being able to change which side you want the camera on, which is a nice touch. Those guys must be after Daniel and Sean. There is a key difference here though. Daniel is the one that has the power this time, so you do not get direct control over the power. And this is one of the many things that I loved about Life is Strange 2. The differences. And one of those differences is the setting, the characters, and how they work in this game. Now, as I previously mentioned, Life is Strange 2 is a journey, and thus the game introduces new characters in pretty much every new episode, which keeps things feeling fresh as the plot progresses. Now, to be really honest, there isn't that much to discuss about the gameplay. You can walk around. You can talk to other characters and examine things.
Dad flips out if I don't pick up my stuff, but Daniel leaves his shit all over.
This is one of those kinds of games a lot like Telltale's The Wolf Among Us, Tales from the Borderlands, or The Walking Dead. Expect minimalistic gameplay, with a lot of story, and Sean running around like an idiot the whole game. It's really weird. Why does Sean run like that? Does he need to go number 2? I have no idea. Oh man, this is just so fucked up. Another feature that is back in this game is collectibles. Life is Strange 1 had photographs that you could take, which were the game's form of collectibles. And this time Life is Strange has a few different things. You can sketch and draw locations as a replacement for the photographs. Also, you can find souvenirs from your travels, and some of them can actually be stuck onto your bag, such as patches and keyrings, which is pretty cool. The only issue is, it's kind of pointless. I much prefer what Life is Strange Before the Storm did, where you got loads of cool outfits to pick at the beginning of each episode. But man, that's just how it is, I suppose. Seeing as you will be travelling across the country, you're gonna need some possessions, which means you're going to need an inventory system. This allows you to see what items you have on your persons at all times. Also, there is a money system in Life is Strange 2, as you are going to need money for supplies on the road. You only get a limited amount though, so you really need to think about what you are going to be spending that on. There is an issue with this system though, and I'll be talking about that in the issues portion of this video. But anywho, now there's something that I really want to talk about with this video, and that is the graphics. Life is Strange 2 brings back its classic and beautiful art style, and I have to say that this game is incredibly gorgeous. Babies. The previous games were also just as beautiful, and the consistency is a wonderful thing as it's such a great art style to look at regardless of the situation you find yourself in the game. I have done the sitting down joke a little bit too much already in this video. Now boogieing on over to the soundtrack. Life is Sequel had more of a score-based soundtrack this time around, but still had some amazing licensed tracks. My favourite picks are Melancholy Hill by the Gorillaz, I Found a Way by First Aid Kit, and Natalie by Milk and Bone. But the score for this game is much more depressing than the first game. The first game had much more of a light-hearted and playful theme song. Life is Strange 2's main theme is blue, dramatic, and just makes you kinda tired hearing it. It's just very sad, okay? I'm not crying, okay? I just got Life is Strange in my eyes, okay? Piss off. Overall, the soundtrack really lends a hand in the emotion. Soundtracks to these games have always been one of my favourite things about this series, and this one isn't as strong for licensed tracks as its predecessors, but it still delivers an emotional and resonant punch. Time to talk about the issues. Least favourite part of any video, unless the game is really bad. This game does have a few downgrades this time, which is kind of sad to say. One of those downgrades is the puzzles. The first game had plenty of puzzles for you to solve. Some of them were absolute brain busters, and I remember being super stressed out trying to figure them out. And sure, there are still some puzzles to solve here and there, but having no time power means that there is no experimentation in the puzzles or the dialogue, which makes the game a step down from what we've had before. The second issue is I missed the time mechanic. I know that they wanted to give them a different power this time to make it more interesting, but I miss it so much. Now, moving away from the downgrades, Life is Strange 2 does have its own issues. I was rather disappointed to see that the money system I mentioned earlier just kind of stops being a thing after a few episodes. The first few episodes do a really good job of reminding you that you need to keep on top of how much money you have and how much you spend and what you spend it on. But then it just gets dropped the rest of the game. However, the game was still incredibly enjoyable, even with some of these more minor issues. Overall, Existence is Odd 2 is an incredibly emotional journey that I will remember for a long time. It packs an incredibly emotional and thought-provoking story with a brilliant soundtrack and impactful decisions. The game does lack the fun puzzle solving with your powers that Life is Strange 1 had, but it doesn't stop the game from being great. So as controversial as this one might be to a few people, Life is Strange 2 has earned the title of Masterpiece. Thank you for watching this video. What are your thoughts on Life is Strange 2? Let me know in the comments section. I will be making videos on all the other Life is Strange games at some point, so stay tuned for that. I also want to quickly say that I do really appreciate all the love and support that you guys have been giving me on the channel recently. I had the first 3 videos already ready to go when I launched the channel, so this is the first opportunity that I've had to say this. So thank you so much, I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to show you guys what's to come. I also want to quickly point out, as you may have noticed, I don't have the microphone in my hand anymore, and I feel the need to just do things with my arms. And I have also tried to get rid of the phone, because a few people did mention that they noticed me reading off my phone quite a lot and it was distracting, which is fair. Therefore I've set up like a ghetto style teleprompter system, so no more phone in my hands. I already did that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Pip pip toodaloo! I always wanted a pony, but I never got one. My dad would always say to me, "When are you gonna grow up, Ocean? You are 25. But I never stopped dreaming. It's all just so fucked up.